Well, I woke up to another snowstorm, March 10th. It's pretty. We're getting kind of sick of it here. I just fed the geese and swept the car off, and it's all snowy again. Backyard. The chimes from the Bun Hill Baptist Church.
Where it is right now. Well, a couple of days ago, we were watching the cold air blending down across the northern Rockies and then seeping over the plain states. That cold air has gotten as far south this morning to the Gulf Coast waters, and we've seen an area of low pressure developing in the western Gulf. That low pressure system has moved northeast into southern Georgia this morning, and with the cold air, the upper air disturbance moving in the Gulf, we're talking about explosive development up and down the east coast as we go through the next 24 hours. What does this mean? Well, anything from severe thunderstorms, that's what we saw across central and southern Florida, even a couple of tornadoes. Heavy rains can be found too. Low wind chills with those cold winds and the cold air blowing down over the plain states. Strong winds may exceed some 40, 50, 60, and 70 miles an hour along the coast here of Maine down through New Jersey and even the middle Atlantic coast. So a big storm system, and I'll tell you what, this storm really means business. We had 3 to 6 inches of snow as it pulled across the Rockies, and over the last 48 hours or so, we've had heavy snow in northern Alabama, northern Georgia, even the mountains here of Tennessee. Chattanooga, record 24-hour snowfall totals, some 13 inches of snow we've seen in Chattanooga this morning. So it has been snowing heavily across the south, and that area of low pressure, will show that to you on the satellite picture in a couple of minutes, but this was the scene in Chattanooga. Again, 13 inches of snow, record snowfall as far south as the Chattanooga Choo-Choo. This is not the only area, though. We're talking about heavy snow in Atlanta, blizzard-like conditions. As a matter of fact, blizzard warnings extend as far south as northern Georgia and even near Maine and New York and Pennsylvania as we go through the next 24 hours. Let's show that area of low pressure to you as we go to the satellite picture now. Satellite picture, and we'll show you that low as we track it off to the north and the east slowly over the next couple of hours, but then we'll quickly push it up the middle Atlantic coast and eventually watch for deteriorating conditions for most of the northeast. Again, here's the area of low pressure. The center of the low you can see right about here. You can see that dry line as it crosses over northern Florida. We had some strong storms that moved through Florida again that produced tornadoes across the central and southern peninsula, but we see the very, very cold air digging down on the back side of the low in Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia. We even have reports of a little bit of light snow over the panhandle of Florida this morning. Regional radar out of the area shows those heavier thunderstorms have already cleared the east coast, but back along the west coast we have a little bit of light rain near Tampa and Sarasota, but mainly this is snow. Panama City reporting light snow this morning. We have snow in Pensacola too, and then stretching up into Alabama and northern Georgia. All of this is snow. A little closer inspection shows light rain again around Tampa and Sarasota, but again snow from Tallahassee to Panama City and even around Crestview. Helbert, Florida reporting some light snow, as is Pensacola. Again, all snow here, and we've had whiteout conditions across northern Georgia, Atlanta, and even around Marietta and Rome. Had as much as 5 to 6 inches of snow in the Marietta area. Again, Chattanooga with some 13 inches, and all of this is snow in western Virginia, the state of West Virginia, into Pennsylvania, Johnstown. Visibilities down to 3/4 of a mile, so it is snowing heavily there. And then we pick up rain here around Elizabeth City and Cape Hatteras, North Carolina. Carolina with some very, very gusty winds. So bands of rain, very, very heavy throughout the area. Now we're talking about snow, heavy snow in the nation's capital, DCA here. The darker green indicating the heavier snow as it pushes off to the north with that area of low pressure. So again, deteriorating conditions. Conditions will go downhill as we go through the next 12 hours or so. To the north of this area, though, we're talking about high pressure. So I'm trying to set the standards over northern New England. A quick look at some of the snowfall totals. Birmingham, 13 inches. Even Montgomery, Alabama, picked up as much as 4 inches. High pressure pushing off the coast. The clockwise winds around this high pressure system, the counterclockwise winds around this area of low pressure to the south means those very, very strong easterly winds hitting up to the coast. High tides, tell you what, tides will be some 4 feet above normal for much of the area. Beach erosion and coastal flood warnings have been issued from around the coast of New York, Long Island here, extending down into Virginia, North and South Carolina. All eyes will be focused on this area of low pressure, basically sticking out like a sore thumb, to say the least. Again, we'll continue to track it up the east. You get away from this area of low pressure and you run into high pressure in the nation's midsection and clear skies here. But with that in mind, we have some very, very cold air. It's only 9 degrees in Bismarck, North Dakota, and Omaha, Nebraska. Bismarck, Rapid City, South Dakota, some 13 degrees, and we even see the cold air as far south as New Orleans, where it's only 38 degrees this morning. 34 in Atlanta, but you see, it's still fairly warm in Florida with temperatures in the 60s. We'll continue to follow the low.
The reason so many people find great vacation values in Florida is because it's Florida. The reason so many Floridians find the same values on Lee Island Coast is because it's Florida's Florida. Lee Island Coast. Everything Florida is, everything Florida was. See Florida, coast to coast to coast. For a free vacationer's guide, call 1-800-533-4753, extension 7.
This report was sponsored by the Lee Island Coast and State of Florida. Call for free vacation guides.
Coming up, a look at your local radar. But first, the current local conditions. The regional forecast. Your local 36-hour forecast from the National Weather Service. Extended forecast. Your local radar. Coming up, more local information here on the Weather Channel.
Avoid unpleasant surprises when you travel. Watch international weather, accurate weather forecast for Europe at 41 after the hour, every day on the Weather Channel.
Do you know what you need to know about managing your money? Take the Wall Street Journal Personal Finance Test and find out. Are you wasting money by buying a car rather than leasing it? Are there drawbacks to refinancing a loan at a lower rate? When can you throw away old tax returns? You'll find the answers in this free book, The Wall Street Journal Guide to Understanding Personal Finance. The guide is filled with information, from financing your new car to refinancing your home. There's even information on how to lower your taxes. It's yours free when you subscribe to The Wall Street Journal. Every business day, The Wall Street Journal gives you the news, analysis, and insights you need to make the right decisions for your business, your career, your future. Subscribe now to The Wall Street Journal. Get 13 weeks of the Journal for $37, over 20% off the newsstand price, and your free copy of the Guide to Personal Finance.
Call 800-228-1505. That's 800-228-1505. Well, blizzard warnings are in effect all the way from Atlanta, Georgia to Burlington, Vermont on this Saturday as one of the strongest storms of the century heads up the East Coast. Details on the weekend travel forecast.
Did you know that stress and certain vitamin deficiencies can cause hair loss and that researchers are growing hair in a test tube? When you call Hair Club for Men, we'll send you this information along with Hair Club's own advances in dealing with hair loss.
I wanted something that looked very natural and also looked very natural when I was skiing and when my hair was very wet.
It made me feel old to be going thin at 24.
Hair Club's innovative techniques in dealing with hair loss will give you the confidence you've always wanted.
I did not ask to lose my hair. And for a long period of time, I thought that I would have no choice. And with Hair Club, I do have that choice.
No matter what sport or activity, your new hair will look and feel like your own.
Now that I have a full head of hair, people that haven't seen me in a while, they don't even know I had anything done. It's like totally natural to them.
So call Hair Club for Men and receive our free brochure, along with some tips that may help you keep the hair you have.
I'm not only the Hair Club president, but I'm also a client.
Coming up, a look at your local radar. But first, the 36-hour forecast from the National Weather Service. Extended forecast. Coming up, more local weather updates here on the Weather Channel.
Calling this the Great Storm of 1993. It's just beginning. It's 9:44 in the morning. It's been snowing since about 6 o'clock. Well, 6 o'clock when I got up. Don't worry, Daddy. Everything's gonna be okay. I'll feed the animals when I feel that it's time, before dark. The snowplow's been through once. I have kerosene. They just filled the fuel tank. And I got wood. Paul gave me a barrel yesterday, so we're all set for this storm. It's supposed to be really super. I'm kind of looking forward to it. I'm not looking forward to the winds, though. They said the winds were up to 60 miles an hour down south. We can do without that. I'll take more videos throughout the day. But this is what it looks like at 9:45 a.m. Well, it's 2:22 in the afternoon, and this is what it looks like. It's also thundering out, and the wind's picking up. Paul just plowed, and this is how bad it is. It's 22 degrees. Well, it's 4 o'clock almost. This is the view from the back. It's probably about the last one I'll do today. Snowing very hard. There's thunder still. We've now been declared a state of emergency. My next report will be at 6. There seems to be a lull in the storm right now. We don't have the high winds. I can't step out on the porch because the snow is up here. Well, the winds are still there. We're still, of course, a state of emergency. There's only been 2 vehicles by in the last hour, and they've been emergency vehicles. I don't know what they're doing. We hope Daddy's okay down in Florida. We hear about the tornadoes on CNN and the news channels. We've had phone calls from Windsor, and Lucy calls me, and we're all keeping in touch to make sure everybody's okay. Next thing we'll see is what goes on.
From Susquehanna Country's largest and most highly acclaimed broadcast news organization, this is Action News.
The fury of a late winter blizzard delivers a knockout punch to the Twin Tiers. Good evening, everyone. I'm Craig Wolf. The TV 12 viewing area paralyzed tonight by the worst snowstorm this area has seen in decades. More than 1.5 feet of snow has fallen. But this one is a 1-2 punch. Winds of up to 45 miles an hour are also hammering the area, making driving almost impossible. A state of emergency has been in effect for all of New York and Pennsylvania since this afternoon. The big question, of course, tonight is when will it all end? Bob Buchanan will have the answer in just a minute. Even though things here are practically at a standstill, the Twin Tiers' heart is still beating. Our Mary Bubala has had a busy day. She continues to brave the elements and joins us now live from Binghamton. Mary?
Craig and everyone at home, you can tell just by looking why we are still in this state of emergency. Strong winds and blowing snow continue to make the situation out here on Main Street in downtown Binghamton unbearable. Once in a while, snowplows will come through, clearing the streets for emergency vehicles only, not for motorists. You should not be driving at all. If you are, you can get in trouble. You could get a ticket for doing this. Also, I ran into a couple of emergency crews. They told me, don't go out and shovel. It's not worth it because the snow is going to continue to come down today and tomorrow. They've actually had some people with heart failure because the snow is so heavy. Also, city officials say they are prepared for the worst. Today they met and are planning for the worst, which includes a power failure. They are prepared for that. And it seems like we are in the worst. I can't believe it could get any worse than this, and you should take my word for it. This is Mary Bubala reporting live from downtown Binghamton. Actually, I'm going to turn around. I'm going to move to the side a little bit because we do have an ambulance coming through. That's why cars should not be on the roads, so these people can get through.
Stay with us for a second if you can, even if you can hear me.
Sure, I can hear you. Go ahead.
If anybody's tempted to venture out in this tonight, maybe you're the person that they should hear from because you have been driving around a little bit. How is the driving outside?
It's awful. Cars shouldn't be here. A lot of cars have their flashers on. Even police cars are taking it very slow. Cars have their flashers on, and really, they're slipping and sliding all over the place. We're in a huge van, and that got stuck in several places, so even we should, after this, get back because it's just awful. So stay home, stay inside.
Okay, and you come home.
We will,
okay.
Soon.
Thank you, Mary. Well, now that we know what it looks like outside, let's find out what we can expect in the next 24 to 48 hours. The man of the night, Bob Buchanan, joins us now. Bob, what's the latest?
Well, if Mary says that, the hat's going to wilt even more, I'll tell you that, because even though, if you take a look at the radar right now, you can see that it was pretty heavy at about 7 o'clock. You see, it's beginning to break up in some areas. Now, maybe in central Pennsylvania, they won't get that much more, but see, there are a lot of cells moving up there through the Delmarva that are still going to nail us, and we're continuing to get some heavy snows here, and we'll get more heavy snows during tonight. It is not over yet at all. We've had 17.4 official inches at Link Field, and we can expect some more tonight. We're going to get to that 2 to 3 feet range before this whole thing is over. Now, that blizzard warning continues into tomorrow. Just how far into tomorrow remains to be seen, and that's one reason we're going to be here tomorrow at 9 o'clock in the morning to tell you how it's all going to go.
When are the winds supposed to die down? Do you have any hint on that?
Well, again, you know, they're going to shift into a different direction because they're coming from the northeast, and as that begins to move up, they swing back more around to the north. there may be a little respite there, but they're talking about, 30 to 50 mile an hour winds still for a while tomorrow, depending on how long it goes, maybe into the afternoon, maybe by noon, who knows, we'll know better tomorrow morning, but it's still going to be blowing and drifting tomorrow. Not good for traveling. In fact, not good to even go to church tomorrow. I think some of the churches have called up services, strangely enough.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Bob. Okay. Police officers aren't the only ones who are on call tonight, as Mary showed us. A lot of employees were sent home early, and until mid-afternoon, however, it was business as usual. Greg Catlin has a report on business as the storm gained strength.
Like other public works departments, Town of Union crews were waiting for the storm to hit. Snowplow drivers got behind the wheel and tried to keep up with it.
Well, you got to deal with traffic and kids and everything, manholes and all the obstacles, yeah.
We started yesterday. We anticipated the mother of all storms, as everyone is saying, and we took some extra measures to make sure that all the equipment was really ready, as it were, new wiper blades, new cutting edges on most of, if not all of, extra salt.
BC Transit buses kept rolling until mid-afternoon when the emergency was declared. Then the buses were taken off the road. You nervous to have to go out in this stuff?
Well, no. We were trained drivers.
At video stores, people were cleaning out the shelves.
Well, we're renting 2 episodes of Twin Peaks, which we never watched, and 2 other full-length films.
So you've got 4?
4, right.
You think you're going to be inside a while?
I think so. I walked over because I thought it would be beautiful, and it's beautiful, but I'm anxious to get home.
Meanwhile, back at the Union Highway Department, when all this is said and done and this storm blows out, what do you do?
Pray, thank God, and get on with what you have to do.
Now, a short time ago, I got off the phone with Nugent, the Uniontown Highway Superintendent, and he tells me that the plows have been out all day. He says the crews will be out all night. As a matter of fact, he tells me that the snow plows won't stop until the snow stops. Greg?
Greg, I have to ask all the veterans around here. You've been here a long time. Have you seen anything like this in your time here?
I've seen a lot of snow, but I haven't seen it this much snow with that much wind around here.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Greg. All right, don't go away. Coming up next on Action News, we'll take a look at the treacherous conditions bombarding the East Coast and stormy abortion protests in the West. From Corning to the Catskills, police have spent a good part of the day keeping things going, and tonight is no different. Officials across the Twin Tiers are out in full force. Our Debbie Rodman has much more on that. She is standing by live in Johnson City. Debbie, how are you?
Craig, this is what you call the big blow. The winds are whipping, and the JC cops have their work cut out for them. You can see their cars are all snowed in. The ones out on patrol are trying to deal with the other cars stuck in the snow. Now, the police were also dealing with a major accident about 4 o'clock this afternoon. Officials say a Conrail train hit an 18-year-old near the Arch Street Bridge overpass. John Blair of Johnson City is in critical condition tonight at Wilson Hospital. He has massive head injuries. Detectives say he was on the tracks listening to a Walkman.
I have no idea why he was. Maybe it was a shortcut or whatever. Sometimes kids are constantly walking the train tracks to take shortcuts and that, which isn't really a good idea.
Well, it's not a good idea to be outside at all. The JC police know that. They're planning to spend the night here. In fact, they've cooked up a storm of their own. They've come prepared with food, fixins, and extra clothes. So the cops are staying put, and take it from this very wet reporter, so should we. This is Debbie Rodman reporting 12 Live in Johnson City. Craig?
Come back to the station and dry off. Well, this fierce storm that we're battling is also hammering almost all of the East Coast. Record snowfalls, hurricane-force winds, and killer tornadoes. South Carolina is being bashed with flooding from waves crashing onto the land, and much of the Deep South also digging out from a massive snowfall. 6-foot drifts in Alabama. 3 million people nationwide without electricity, and thousands of travelers stranded. Now, governors in 12 states have declared states of emergency. That includes, of course, New York and Pennsylvania, and 33 deaths blamed on the storm, about half of them in tornadoes.
Have some fun and celebrate. Lots of music to play.
Cannon has been a busy man today, and his work continues tonight. He's going to update us on the storm.
That's right, that storm does continue. Now, if you take a look at the way it's been looking since mid-afternoon, you can hardly see the place because of all the snow that was over us at about 3 o'clock this afternoon. See, it's beginning to break up as far as the snow is concerned. Now, that doesn't mean the thing is over. It just means it's spreading out a little bit. Some sections, particularly down maybe in Pennsylvania, won't get quite as much around over into New England, but we continue to have a little bit of it coming our way, and so we continue to have that heavy snow forecast for the rest of the night. We'll add to it, and this winds are still blowing pretty strong, and so we're not out of the woods yet. We continue to have that blizzard warning in effect right into tomorrow. How far into tomorrow it goes, of course, will depend on tomorrow. Here's the way the whole thing sets up. You see, by tomorrow morning, that low pressure is going to be just parallel to us right there in southeastern New York State. This low has about 965 millibars, which is about 28.44 inches of mercury, and the record low we've had here, and that is 28.50. The record down in Scranton is 28.60, and so, you know, we're very likely to set a new record for a low barometer reading along the East Coast out of this whole thing, among some other records that have been set. Now, by tomorrow, you see that low will be well out of here. High pressure will try to build on in, and by tomorrow night, we'll begin to get some clearing out of this thing. It's going to get awful cold, though, and by the time you get into Monday, you might have a little bit of clear skies, but another system will come swinging our way. There's a chance of, yes, snow as we get into Tuesday, or maybe Wednesday, increasing clouds on Tuesday. Temperatures on the cold side, they're getting down there into pretty low levels, generally in the teens, 20 degrees, 11 degrees right now at Link Field. That is as cold as it's been all day. We had 20 as we came into this day at midnight, and it's been kind of going downhill ever since, maybe a little jump up and down during the middle of the afternoon from 16 to 17, 17 to 16. No sunshine at all today, and officially at Link Field up until about 10 o'clock, we had 17.4 inches, so we have 27 inches of snow so far this month, 30 inches on the ground. The most they've ever had on the ground at one time up there since they've been up on the hill is 33 inches, so we may break that record too. And we've had about 1.6 inches of liquid precipitation so far. Now, as far as that precipitation is concerned, you see it's breaking up here in eastern sections of New York State, and it's also breaking up down in Pennsylvania right now. See how much clearer it's getting. But see, down here, a lot more is beginning to come our way, and we expect this to come right on over us. And so we'll continue to get the snows the rest of the night. And in the entire area where they have generally anywhere from a foot and a half to a foot of 2 feet of snow right now, you could get 2 feet to 3 feet by the time the whole thing ends sometime tomorrow. It's going to continue to be windy tomorrow, so we'll have blizzard and whiteout conditions at least early in the day. Hopefully it'll break up by afternoon. The rest of this night, then, we can look forward to snow, maybe heavy at times. We're going to drop down into the teens. We're already at 11 at Link Field. And for tomorrow, we can look for more snow. It won't be that heavy tomorrow, but it'll continue to blow for a while with the north winds coming our way. It's still maybe 30 to 50 miles an hour. We're going to drop down to the single digits before the day is over tomorrow. And then for tomorrow night, after some flurries in the evening, it'll begin to clear up at night, and then we're going to drop down to pretty low levels, 0 to 5 above 0. Monday will be clear. It'll get increasing clouds on Tuesday. Chance of snow on Wednesday. Highs in the teens and 20s, maybe near 40 on Wednesday. 40, remember 40s? 0 to 10 above, and maybe around 20 degrees on Wednesday. And so the worst is not over yet. We still got maybe another 12, 14 hours of bad stuff.
Right, but with some clearing, hopefully Monday night, maybe the roads can be cleared off a little bit by going back to work time.
Well, there's an awful lot of snow in the hills before this snow fell. As a matter of fact, it was slightly above a chance of flooding in the spring at that time. That's going to go up considerably. We don't want it to melt too fast.
Okay, and we'll check in with you tomorrow morning.
Yes, we'll be here bright and early. If you can get me out of bed, you're going to have to go by the motel and
we'll make it a point. We'll make it a point
we'll
to get you
about 9 o'clock anyway.
Okay, thank you, Bob. When Action News continues, you may remember when all this white stuff meant no school in Stokely. Tonight on Action News, for most adults, today's blizzard meant headaches and backaches. But for kids, it was just plain simple fun. The kind of fun no words can possibly describe, even on a day like today.
Tell me what you're doing and how fun this is.
This is good.
How come?
'Cause.
Why?
'Cause.
Okay.
It was great when you used to be able to answer questions like that, wasn't it? The falling flakes made for lip-smacking excitement, especially for those getting a free ride down a snowy street. You had to be a fairly adventurous person, adult or child, to get out and play in this stuff.
I'll tell you, this area, you get kids that are fairly old now who haven't had that chance to do that right here.
That's
Not
right.
for a long time. We haven't had that kind of snow.
All right, that is it for Action News tonight. It's been a long day for all of us and probably for you too. We thank you for staying tuned to us all day for our coverage of the blizzard. We'll be back tomorrow. Up next, Star Trek Deep Space Nine, where the weather's probably better than it is here. All of us here at TV 12. Have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow morning at about 9 o'clock.
It's morning now, and I can't get out the front door. I wish I could get over to see what the barn looks like, but that's as far as I can get the door open. We'll be coming out and shoveling. Road looks pretty good shape. The crews have been working all night long. Now for a view from the back. Pretty windy out. Daddy's tractor's buried. I think the barn's still standing from what I can see. Well, I'm trying to get out here. I got this far. I'm trying to push some of the snow back. I only have from there to go, from here to there, to the road. The plows have been pretty good. But look at my car. I don't know if Paul will even be able to get me out of there. This is wonderful. Look at this. Look at that, Daddy. Temperature, well, let's see. They're about 14. I'm probably going to be out here all day trying to... Oh, the sun's peeking through. Where is it? There it is. I'm going to try to... Look at Paul's truck over there. Try to get through this. I'm going to take my time. I don't think I'll be going anywhere today. I'm supposed to go to work. They said that they'd have people to pick us up. But it's supposed to be 5 below 0 tonight, so I don't know whether I'm going to leave my house. They're not going to fix my pipes if I go, so I'm going to stay here. I flush the toilets, I run the water, trying to keep things going here. My main concern now is to get out to the animals. I need to check on them, especially the dogs. I should have put them in the barn. Next report, about noon. Kind of broken through. It's pretty nippy out here. I don't know what the wind chill factor is, but this is what it looks like. Oops, here's my car. The blizzard of 1993. They call it the storm of the century. And the barn was still there. Nothing can knock that barn down. Oh, the winds are something else. I know, you guys are thinking, we've had snows like this before. Look at this. I don't know how I'm going to get down to see Buddy. I can hear the geese, so I'm not too worried about them. I've only seen Jeeps and trucks with four-wheel drive out. We're still a state of emergency, of course. Now, if Anne-Marie and I were smart, we'd be sleigh riding right now. Hi, Anne-Marie. Right down there. This is nothing. Look at the barn. Oops. At least there's no accumulation on the roofs. I don't know how we're going to get the tractor down out of there. It's not too bad down by the barn. But it sure is. Trying to get out. I guess Paul's going to have to back up and take swipes so he can get out of there. It's up to the windows. Isn't that cool? That's my next Christmas card. So here we are. The blizzard of '93. Long to be remembered, I guess. Charles Kuralt says there was a blizzard in 1888. Can hardly see the pond. I don't want to get too far away from home. I may not get back. But I hear the birds chirping. The wind is blowing the snow off the roof, so I'm not too worried about the trailer. Or ours. But Daddy, I don't think you're coming home any too soon because you ain't got no car to drive. They're buried. They're buried. Here's a gauge of how deep the snow is. I'll get my camera out here later today. See how it's blowing. See, we've had worse. It's not quite up to this garage window. They may push the snow back, though. There's Bertha's. So this is my concerted effort here. I plowed, I got my little path made, and look what the snowplow just did to me. Darn it all. I'm never going to get out to go to work. And we're never going to get the tractor out. Ain't this some breath? It's just after 4. And I tunneled out again. We did a stupid mistake. We put the tractor in the barn. So we had to get Fred to come and do up the top. And we shoveled as far as we could because we didn't want to ruin the tractor. And we got the tractor out of the barn. Just like old times, huh, Daddy? You've seen it worse than this. Fred did the rest of my car. I made 10 bean soup and kolachki was in the freezer, so I just took him up his supper and I slipped a $10 bill in it so he can get some gas. Because he worked pretty hard getting me out and getting Paul out. We have had all kinds of calls from the neighbors wanting us to come plow us out. When they mention money, I'll think about it. But I don't think we want to put the wear and tear on the tractor. It's not running really nice today, Paul said. So I think we just better take care of ourselves and let somebody else make the big bucks. Look at this. That's by the barn. Isn't this great? Anne-Marie and I talked on the phone, and we were reminiscing about times when this was just no big thing. It was just like a regular snow. She's so pretty, though. Oops, I'm cockeyed. I'm sorry. I'm not looking through the viewfinder too much. Look at this. It took me 45 minutes to feed the chickens and the geese because I had to wade up chest-high snow to get to it. As I said, the snow is up to the windows on the barn. And you can see a little bit how I had to cut through. I bet tomorrow I'll have the same problem because it's blowing so bad. But I think it's awful pretty out. The road crews have done a good job at keeping the roads clear. I guess I have no excuse but to go into work tonight. At least I have my car so that I just don't have my badge, that's all. Oh well. I'll wear my other badge. There's Paul. Let me see if I can zoom her in. That's a pretty deep stuff. Oh, here comes some jackass in a Jeep. Watch it, Paul. This asshole's going pretty good. Oh, he's peeping the horn, so we'll get out of the way. Hope he hits some of my snow here. Slow him down a little bit, jackass. Slow down. No, I'm sure he's not no emergency person. Let's get Ron Malawacki here and the kids. They've been shoveling for things. That's Paul's driveway. They did a pretty good job. They almost got all the way down. Well, keep on shoveling. Come on, I'm doing a video. Come on, shovel. Action. It's a clean
run you over.
family movie here. Well, they were almost done.
That was the hardest part.
Hello, this is CJ's video Christmas tape. Christmas videotape. And I'd like to start it out with a little music. This is J.S. Bach, Joy of Man's Desiring. Here we go. I know, Grandpa, it's not Red River Valley, but it'll have to do. Now for the house. Well, this is our road. And you come down this no outlet road. And bingo, there's our house. Last house on the left. Isn't she pretty? Here's the front of the house. Look at all of these hedges and dead plants. Boy, Mrs. Minahan, if you're watching this, you're probably really disappointed in me. Let's start up the driveway. There's the house. Running through the driveway. Okay, we're beginning to come up on our pool. Doesn't really exist, but there's the pool. There's our deck. There's our backyard. There's the railroad tracks. There's the Highway 40. One of the bigger highways around here is right past that. Not really too much noise though. Right over here is the car we bought in Emlington, Pennsylvania. Isn't she a beauty? And here's the new car. Yes, sirree. Look at those hubcaps shine. Woo! The Mazda 323. Four-door. The Mazda. House with Howie's car in it. Going in the back door here to the kitchen where the sweat hogs roam. The kitchen. That's door to Sean's room. Oh, dirty dishes. Dishwasher though. Too bad we're out of dish liquid. View of the side yard out here. Yeah. Mr. Cactus. Go up the stairs into the living room. That's Tom sleeping on the couch. Oh, there's Tom. Wave, Tom. My folks at home. There's the CD collection. Yeah. Oh, there's our TV, blah, blah, blah. Okay. There's downstairs. You don't want to go there. Here's our bathroom. It's a complete mess right now. Shower. I go over. Well, I can't see anything. Holly's room. Todd's room's ahead. Into our room. And this is our room. Yay! There's Jen on the phone. There's the fish tank. All the fishies. It's Mrs. Beta. Also, the two Sawbellies or whatever they are. And Mr. Beta's somewhere in there. Can't find him. There he is. Mr. Beta. And there's the poster of Bela Fleck. Bye! Now I have a special introduction, and it's Mr. Todd Matson. Hey. He's been there through a lot of rough times for me and Jen, and he's also a roommate. And he's playing the part of Jennifer Sperling right now.
That's why I'm sitting down. I didn't want to reveal my height.
This is the traditional send-off. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
Jen's running the camera, by the way, just to embarrass it.
Merry Christmas. I don't like to be in cameras.
See ya.